Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, I want to finally touch on this subject of the whole Monique and Netflix thing, right? But I want to talk. I want to come at it from a different angle, an angle that I haven't really heard much about. Now, I'm not going to do the whole bashing Monique when the whole interview about with her and Charlamagne. I'm not going to touch that. I'm not gonna bash Charlamagne. Not gonna bash. I ain't gonna say nothing crazy about that because to me that's just fluff. That's not really where my attention or anybody's attention should be. It shouldn't be on a controversy. I think where the attention should be, well, one of the things that the attention should be, and as a very good learning lesson that I want to pull out of this is the art of negotiation. Now, I am not no big Fortune 500 broker, none of that stuff, but I do understand the concept of a negotiation, the basic concept, premise of a negotiation, and the nuances of it is very very simple, to be honest with you. And I want to tackle this whole Monique Netflix thing from the negotiation standpoint, not the whole the racist allegations, the sexist allegations. I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. Let's talk about from a business aspect what I've learned from this and what I pull from this and what I could share from what I've learned. One, what I've always learned, and I've seen this in movies, I've learned from people that I know, is that when it comes to business, the art of business, never, ever, ever show emotion. Never. Now, when it comes to negotiations, it is strictly business. And the problem that a lot of artists have, not just artists as a community, like just like artists in general, the issue that a lot of artists have is that as an artist, I am an artist, I paint, I draw, all that stuff. When it comes to putting your art out for the public and putting your art out for sale, whatever it may be, you do that in the hopes that whomever you are soliciting will treat your art the way you would treat your art. When you create, as an artist, when you create art, you don't just create art. You are physically putting your essence, your spirit, your soul, your blood, sweat, and tears, literally in a lot of cases, into your art. You are putting your life into your art, right? So much so that when you put your life into your art, you can become physically drained and mentally drained by creating this art. Okay. And when you do that, when your art is complete and when your art is done and it is well with you, and you put it out there for the public to see and potentially, patronize, you want that person or that entity to view your work the same way you view your work. The problem is that most likely will never happen because the rules of art are different from the rules of business. When it comes to the rules of art, it is about passion, emotion, feeling. It's mainly subjective. Okay. When it comes to the rules of business, it is tactful, it is tactical, it is strategic, it is quantifiable, it is mathematic. All of those things I just named have nothing to do with emotion. Now, what's that got to do with this whole Monique and Netflix thing? As we all know from in the past, Monique asked for a boycott of Netflix because they offered her she reported a $500,000 deal for a comedy special. And because of that, because of her status, because of her legacy, as she puts it, she feels as if her legacy demands more than $500,000. And to be honest with you, no one disagrees with that. I do believe it is an insult for someone of Monique's stature to be offered $500,000 for a Netflix deal. When, if you put her record up, yes, when she says she's the most decorated comedian of all the time, she is. Her resume demands more than $500,000. The problem is, she is talking to a company that does not care about how she feels about her legacy and her work as a comedian, as an actress. Okay? Netflix, at the end of the day, is a business. It is a corporation. And I learned this a long time ago in the 8th grade finance. When I was in Shaw Junior High School, my 8th grade finance teacher told me one simple rule. The first rule of business, I don't care if it's profit or non-profit, the first rule of business is to make money. That is the first rule of business. You have the first rule of preservation. You also have the first rule of business. The first rule of business is to make money by supplying a service. Make money. Well, I don't care if it's profit or non-profit. The first rule of business is to make money. Now, a lot of people believe that that's where it stops, making money. No. There's more rules to this when it comes to business that a lot of people don't talk about. If the first rule of business is to make money, is there a second rule? What's the second rule? Well, from my experience dealing with businesses and just observing on the outside and with my own personal experience, the second rule of business is to spend as little money as possible while at the same time gaining the most profit. Spend the least to gain the most. Okay? So when it comes to negotiations, and this is where communications come in between you as the artist and the corporation. You as the artist and your representatives as an artist and the corporation. How you as an entity, you and your people as an entity, and the corporation as an entity, how two more entities interact with each other. Where there's a means of reciprocity. You want this, I want this. In order for you to get this, I want this. In order for you to get this, in order for me to get this, you want this. It's give and take. It's push pull. Okay? It's push pull until there is a mutual agreement. That is the art of negotiation. I'll give it to you like this. There was a line, if anybody remembers this, remember the song Three Kings with Dr. Dre, Rick Ross, and Jay-Z, right? In Jay-Z's line, he had a line in there that is very, very pivotal to this, that I hope you could take from it. When he said the line, he said, I spent that whole $150 Live Nation in front of me. They're working on another deal. They're talking 250. Then he replies out with that. He says, I'm holding out for 3. Then right after that he says, 275, and I just might agree. Now, if we all remember, Live Nation gave him a $150 million for 10-year deal. Live Nation, that's where we started Rock Nation from. $150 million, 10-year deal. Now, once that agreement was done, he was negotiating for $300 million. So he actually wanted double, 150, add on another 150. He wanted a $300 million deal. Right? That's what he wanted. But Live Nation offered him $250 million. Okay? And he didn't want 250. He wanted 300 million. They wanted to give him 250 after that $150 million deal. They met in the middle. 275, and I just might agree. Now, if you pay attention to that line, That was that didn't happen with this whole Monique Netflix thing. They offered her $500 million. She said that reported she wanted something around right around a range of 13.5 to $15 million, because she said, you know how Amy Schumer, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, they getting these, and Dave Chappelle, they getting these high tens of millions of dollars deal. 60 million with the Dave Chappelle, $60 million. Then said Chris Rock got 50 million for Netflix and all that stuff. So Monique said, okay, Amy Schumer and all that stuff. She said, okay, these comedians are getting this kind of bank. They're getting like this big bank. And she said she thinks herself as a comedian, if my resume is greater than theirs, then surely I see no problem with me asking for at least 15 million, right? No problem with that. I got an Oscar. I got all these different things. Got these awards, these accolades, these nominations for awards as a comedian that these other comedians don't have. So they're getting 60, 50, or that millions of dollars. Surely Netflix can give me, the most accomplished comedian, 15, 20, maybe. I don't know. So she went to Netflix. They tried to, her and her team, her manager, her team, tried to broker a deal. Netflix gave her a $500,000 offer. She felt offended, and I don't blame her for that. She felt offended for that. So she called it. She wanted to boycott because she felt she was slighted. She felt it was an insult to her career that they offered her $500,000. Okay. Now here's the thing. Here's the part where things went left. Even though she felt insulted, and I agree, it was an insult. The mistake I believe was made was that either her or someone on her team should have said, okay, as mad as you are, as mad as we are for this offer, keep your emotions in check, meaning keep it to yourself, because this is business. They know her resume. Netflix, you can Google Monique's resume as a comedian, not even as a serious, just as a comedian alone. You can Google Monique's resume and deal with that, right? Netflix knows her resume. We know. But they, as I said, a business still wants to make money, and they still want to spend the least amount of money for the best product. So, like they always say, you don't get what you're worth. You can only get what you negotiate. So let's just say Netflix offered her the lowest, 500,000. We know it's BS. Okay, 5,000. All right, that's the lowest. But let's just say Monique wanted 20 million. Let's say Monique's ceiling was 20 million. Netflix floor is 500,000. Here's the thing. What can be done with this is this how it should be played. The number you have in your head. Let's say your actual number is, I only want as a comedian, I only want 15 million. I only want 15 million, right? I only want 15 million. But Netflix wants to give you 500,000. But you really, let's say you want 15 million. I'm worth 15 million. Let's do this. They offer me 500. I say no. I want $30 million. Now keep in mind, your real number is 15. Your real number is 15. But you tell them, you see, the thing is, the company will try to undercut you, but you should overshoot. They will give you the lowest number. You give them the highest number that you could think of. But your actual number could only be 15 million. They say 500,000, you say 30 million, but you really want 15. Right? So they're not going to give you 30, and you're not going to take 500,000. So what you do is you offer, counter offer. They give you an offer, you counter offer. They say 500,000. You say no. I want 30. They say no, 500,000. As they say no, and then no, I'll take 20. About 25. They won't give me 30. I'll get that. How about 25? They say no, we're still talking. As long as no one says no outright, you're still talking. So you go here until you say, okay, how about I want 15 million? Netflix says, okay, 15 million. Boom, you meet 15 million. Now you got a $15 million deal. That's how that goes. First rule of business is to make money. But the overall thing is never personal. Never personal. Only business. Just watch The Godfather. It's not personal. It's only business. Even if they insult you, keep it business. Keep it business. All right? And now that the attention's on you, when you do a comedy show, talk about it. Now that the spotlight is on this Netflix thing, when you do your comedy show, when you do your thing, talk about this issue, and then that will gain more attention. Eyeballs equal dollars. Eyes and ears equal dollars. The more attention you have, the more people are willing to pay for it.